Hey everybody, welcome back to Mixing Music Analog at mixingmusicanalog.com, and here on the YouTube channel, and this is part 2 of I think what'll be a 4-part or 3 or 4-part series on comparing the sound of the converters of the PreSonus Quantum 4848 to the Neve MBC Master Bus Converter box. So if you did not see part 1, click the link in the description box below, as well as the links so you guys can have the same audio files that we're listening to in this video so you can compare them for yourself. In this video, I'm going to give you the reveal. I'm going to tell you which one was which, and then you guys can leave comments below. But before we get started, like, share, subscribe. Again, if this channel helps you out in any way, man, in any way, shape, or form, and I think what we're doing on this channel is very unique compared to a lot of other YouTube channels out there that are actually taking the time to do a lot of these kinds of comparisons and tests based on your feedback and comments on other videos and our live streams. And I'm doing it with a very unbiased, opinion. Not here to sell you anything. Nothing here is sponsored. Everything here I pay for with my own money. And I'm just trying to show you what the differences are, or what I perceive to be the differences, and then try to give you some good information. So if any of this stuff really helps you, please like, share, subscribe. And if you're really feeling generous, hit the super thanks, because that helps out too, man. This is all done for free. So if you don't mind helping out Uncle Dave, I don't mind helping out you. So before we get to the big reveal, again, if you didn't see part 1, go watch part 1, download the files for yourself. I'm going to do a quick little playthrough here once for maybe a half, maybe the first minute of the song. You can go back and watch the other video. And I'm going to tell you which one of the prints is which. So we have 3 prints here in Studio One. One of the prints, and this is in no particular order, they were shuffled. One of the prints is the Quantum 4848, which is the box that I've been using for the last 2 years, right? Printing back into Studio One as my final print track, okay? One of the prints is the Neve Master Bus Converter without using the transformer circuit, okay? Completely clean and transparent. So the Neve is can be transparent, or you can hit the transformer if you'd like. It's switchable. One of the prints is completely clean, so it's similar to the 4848 in that the 4848 markets itself as a clean, transparent converter. And then one of the prints is that same setting on the Neve, but with just the transformer button engaged. There's no variable how hard you want to hit the transformer. It's either in or it's out. That's it. Both Neve prints, we're using the Neve clock. Okay, just so you know, I did use the clock for the Neve prints. For 2 of the 3 prints, we used the Neve. I didn't say that in the first video. Sorry about that. And the song that we're using here is the same exact song that we used when we did the same test for the Dangerous Music Convert AD+. As a matter of fact, because you guys are watching this at all different times, but just so you know how I recorded this, did a mix by a country artist, Barry Dridger. Thanks, Barry, for letting us use your song in this video. And go check out Barry's socials in the description box. He's a really great country rock artist. Love Barry. Going to feature more music on the channel in the future. He's been very gracious to let me use this song in several of these different tests. So go check him out. However, just to let you know, I did a full mix, full-on mix, automation mix, hardware, the whole thing when we did the Dangerous Music comparison. 2 days later, I never took the mix off the console. Everything stayed exactly the same. I brought the Neve in here for this test. And then depending on when you're watching this video, what I have sitting on behind me on the couch over there is we have the Burl Audio B2 Bomber. So we did 3 boxes in a row. You won't see the videos that close together, but that's how I did it. So all of the mixes are all exactly the same. Nothing's been touched, because there will be a video where I compile all the files and we do a video showing you the difference between the 4848, the Neve, and the Burl, okay? So just so you know that. What else? Yeah, so I did those 3 prints. The Neves are done with the word clock, with their clock, okay? So here in Studio One, we have 3 tracks, print 1, 2, and 3. They're in no particular order. I'm gonna play them back quick. Your job is keep your eye on the solo button. Again, we'll only listen to about half the song because you guys can go watch part 1. Then I'm gonna tell you which one is which, and I'm gonna give you my feelings on what I'm hearing in the room, okay? So here we go. Here is print 1, and then we'll keep your eye on the solo button. Here we go. Okay, there you go. Did you figure it out? Again, if this is the first time you're hearing this, download the files in the description box, put them in your DAW, slice them and dice them, switch back and forth as many times as you want, listen to them on as many playback systems as you want. Now, I will say before I tell you which one is which and what I recommend and how I'm doing these tests is when I'm coming to my conclusion, I'm only listening to a full pass on the song once, maybe twice. It's the gut first reaction. And the reason why I say that is, if you listen to this thing over and over and over and over again, especially once you know which one is which, you can convince yourself that you hear something. So once I tell you which one is the Neve, you can sit there and you can listen to this and you'll know which one is which, and you'll convince yourself that you hear a difference if you didn't really hear a difference. You know what I'm saying? So the way I like to do this is within the first couple of minutes. If I have to listen to this more than a few times to hear a difference, then there's no difference, okay, in my ears, right? So that would just be a tip. After me doing a bunch of these, this is what I've come to find is probably the most accurate. So let me tell you which one is which. So the green track here, print 1, that one is the PreSonus Quantum 4848. The blue here, print number 2, that is the Neve Master Bus Converter without the transformer. And then print 3 is with the transformer, okay? None of the other features are being used on the Neve box because they have a limiter and they also have the silk, the red-blue silk circuit. And the reason why I'm not using that in this test is because I already own the Neve 542 porticos. And this mix was done with those on the red circuit. So by following that up with a different circuit on this other box, I thought would throw the test off. I wanted to keep this whole setup exactly the same between the Dangerous Music, the Neve, and the Burl. That's why I did it that way. So the Neve has some extra features on it that are pretty cool. If you want a limiter, whatever, you can have that. But those are the three. The green is the Quantums, print 2, the blue, is the Neve with no transformer, print 3 in that brown color is with the transformer, okay? So now that you know which one is which, what do I hear in the room? So I've listened to this not only here on my focals with my trim off and the room correction and all of that, I also listen to these on 2 pairs of headphones coming out of the console. And here's what I hear. It's very, very similar to what we learned, what I've heard in the Dangerous Music set of videos. There is almost no difference between print 1 and print 2, which is without the transformer, right? The green is the 4848, the blue is the Neve without the transformer. There maybe I think I might hear, and again, this is so incredibly subtle, I think I might hear a little bit more beef, if you will, to maybe the body of the snare a tiny bit. And again, we're talking minuscule. And it depends when you switch in the song. When I listen to these things, I'm listening to like the snare, the kick for transient stuff. I'm listening to the vocals and the bass a little bit. But on this track, just so you know, there are certain parts of the song where the snare is just being played, and then there's other parts of the song where there's a clap and percussion underneath the snare, and it's very subtle. So if you don't know where that is in the song, and it's in the choruses, when you get to the chorus, you may say, oh, the snare sounds a little different when I switch to the other one. That could be because of the percussion that's underneath it in a very subtle way. Anyway, that's about the only thing that I hear. I don't hear a major difference at all. It's almost impossible to tell. When I put the headphones on, I can't tell the difference. Now, when we go to the transformer, print 3, there is a little bit more compression happening, which would be expected, and it seems like it's got a little bit more of this, a little bit more sizzle, a little bit more excitement when you hit the transformer, which makes sense. That's what you would expect. But again, it's pretty subtle. The Neve box does a great job of not overhyping that, not oversaturating it. It is pretty cool. So I hear a difference between print 1 and print 3. Again, how much of a difference? Maybe it's a few percent, maybe 3-5%. How much of a difference do I hear between print 1 and print 2? To me, they're almost completely interchangeable. I really don't hear a difference. Now, what I'm going to do, like I did in the last series, is I will take a break and come back maybe tomorrow, and I will listen with a fresh set of ears, and if I hear anything different, I'll report it. I did that with the dangerous music, and I did not hear any difference, so I would suspect I don't really hear a difference here. So these two boxes, the 4848 and the Neve, from just a strictly converter point of view, are pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same, in my opinion, from what I hear in the room. So, what do you think? Leave comments below. Now that you know the difference, has your opinion changed? I mean, that's part of the problem here, right? Is that you know which one they are now. So now you might be able to hear a difference. I don't know. Everybody hears things differently, and it's totally cool. It's totally subjective. What I will say, if there is any difference, if you do hear a difference, it's going to be, I would imagine you would admit that it's going to be very, very subtle. So then the question becomes for you, would you spend, and the question becomes for Uncle Dave, does Uncle Dave spend $4,000 on this Neve converter? Is it so I can get a better print track or a better whatever? Based on what I'm hearing right now, absolutely not. It's not that the Neve's not a great box, and again, it's got other features in it that if you need those features, it could be one to look at, right? But because I already have the 542 porticos, and I already have a ton of saturation and stuff, I'm not gonna buy it just for the transformer. It's too subtle for me to do that. At that price, I can almost buy the analog, I think it's Analog Designs, the black box. For $4 grand, I could buy that, or pretty close to that, if you really wanna have some transformer flavor, which would be a lot more, colored than even this would be. So I'm not gonna keep it for that. I don't see any reason to keep this box just for that. I don't feel it gives me a better print track. I don't really hear the difference. Now, what would be one other reason to have an external or a separate print box like this outside of my 4848s? Is if you wanted to, and some people have said this to me, and we're gonna do some video tests on this theory as well, is that with a box like this, a separate print track converter, you can now print it to a separate machine, let's say a laptop, if you wanted to, a different computer, and you could print it at a higher sample rate. What I always do is I just print it back into the session. So if the session's at 48K, which this one is, I'm printing my print track back in at 48K. Where if you printed it to a separate box, to a separate computer, I could print it up, I think this one goes to 192. So if you wanted to print it at a higher resolution, you can do that. I don't do that here because I don't have the separate box. At least I haven't found one yet worth investing in. But I'm not even really convinced that printing and listening back to a print track at 192 versus 48 is going to make any difference either. I know there's people out there that will swear there's a difference. And you know what? Maybe there is. Uncle Dave has not done that test yet, but I could promise you that I will do that test because I want to know too. And then I'll report the findings to you just like we're doing here. So my conclusion here, from what I've seen and what I've heard so far, is that there's not enough of an improvement, quote unquote, for me to invest $4,000 in that. The PreSonus converter is just fine. And that's exactly what I found in the dangerous music. Now, maybe coming up when I do the Burl B2 Bomber, I may be it may change the game. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's going on here with this particular box. It is a great piece of equipment. If you're looking for something like that, it's got the Neve thing, it's high quality, it's built like a tank, it's got some extra goodies on it, and if you need a 2-track set of converters, depending on your rig, it may be one you want to consider. And again, I'll link it in the description box below so you can check it out at Sweetwater. It's an affiliate link. Thanks so much if you decide to buy it. It is a good piece of equipment. But this test is it really better than the converters in the PreSonus Quantum 4848? And the answer to that, in my mind, is no. Or it is so subtle of an improvement, I can't justify that expense. It's too much money to get almost, in my mind, almost no improvement. So, leave comments below, let me know what you think. And as I said in the last video, when we talk about this topic, please be cool, please be respectful in the comments. Don't blast anybody, because if you do, nobody sees the comment because I have to approve all the comments before they go through. I'm the only one that will see a troll, and you will be blocked from the channel and your comment will be deleted and nobody will see it. And I know I'm only talking to a very small percentage of people watching this video. Most of you really are cool and really enjoy these videos. So I want to keep it that way. So when you're reading through all the comments or reading through people's opinions, you don't have to, sift through all the trolls and all the insults. You can really get some good information. So let's start a conversation, man. Let me know what you think. What box do you use and what did you hear in your system? I'd be excited to know. This is a great thing. I love doing these things for you. So I think I covered everything. Not a sponsored video. I bought that with my own money, all that stuff. So anyway, let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned to the next video where Dave, our good buddy David S.J., just like in the Dangerous Music, he's going to do a deep dive. He's going to take these 3 tracks and he doesn't know which ones they are as I'm sitting here recording this, and he's going to go through and do the whole full analytical thing, put it on a scope, null test, phase align, all that stuff to see is there really a difference. And we're going to look at it from a more analytical point of view as well, a visual representation of what's going on. So stay tuned to that video. And until the next video, I've been Dave with Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video.